Hi, I'm Catherine
And I'm Lynn, and we are a coffee break.
with Cat and Mom. Welcome back to our podcast. Today is episode 17, and today we are talking about big moves. So, my mom moved from Canada to Iowa, and then I moved from Iowa to Florida for college, and now we have completely moved our lives from Iowa to Florida, so we're also going to cover that. But I'm going to do a little interview for her about her move from Iowa to Canada, or from Canada to Iowa, because that is like a whole nother country, and she was younger, so like about my age when you moved.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
that's going to be kind of our big segment. We always start with our little weekend review. Our lives haven't been that interesting this week. I've just been training. It's like week 2 of my triathlon training, and my whole body is mad at me. And then she's been painting, like the whole place.
Well, we're trying to sell this condo, and so I figured we needed to freshen it up because, well, the furniture is the furniture my parents had, so it's not our taste
Yeah.
at all. But we have our own furniture in storage, and we can't really like swap whatever. It's
Mhm.
just not working. It's not the same size of place. But anyway, so I decided to paint the whole thing. And last week, I started last week, and I was still working out last week, and I was still painting, and it's like old walls and whatnot. I mean, and so
Yeah.
it's old paint. I had to press so hard.
And it's like wallpaper, so she's
Yeah,
painting
and then
over
I
all
had
wallpaper.
I had to learn how to paint over wallpaper, which is more than one step, and there's a lot of steps. And so this week I decided that was going to be my workout, and it's
Mhm.
been just tiring, and some of that base coat smell was terrible,
Yeah,
and
it
the
was.
smell was just, oh my gosh. So it's over with. It's
Yeah.
done. So
And now it's a beautiful day out, so after this we're
Yes.
going to go to the beach, and then
not to brag,
probably
but it's
tomorrow
finally nice
to go to
here.
the beach as well. So we're gonna take this weekend to relax. Every episode we go to a coffee shop. We try their coffee to promote small businesses and promote the owners. We usually have it in front of us, but the past, like, I'd say 6 episodes,
Yes.
we've been going to the coffee shops and trying it, coming back and telling you guys the vibe of the coffee shop and what we thought of the coffee.
It's still our goal to do it live at the coffee shop,
Or,
maybe next
someday
season.
have our own coffee shop.
Yes.
We have a lot of big dreams, like merch and stuff. We've had these ideas brainstormed for over like 6 months now. Yeah, we have our coffee break mugs that we always have for our episodes. So a lot of big dreams, but we
That will come
appreciate the
reality.
small little viewers that we have every episode.
Yes.
But today we didn't go to a coffee shop. I have been experimenting with some coffee, and I thought for this episode we will
She's
review.
been bragging about this thing that I'm about to try.
Except I tried it already, and it doesn't taste as good as I usually make it. So
She's been
And it's a
bragging
little bit
about it
watered
for a
down.
week. This is a new
'Cause
thing.
I've been making it for my boyfriend and I got the new Nespresso. Well, it's not new, but it's an espresso golden espresso powder, pretty much.
I don't.
And I put warm water over. I add some honey, cinnamon, cacao powder, mix that up. Put some of the Chobani cinnamon coffee cake creamer, a little bit of milk, and you just mix that up.
Okay.
I think I
I
said
haven't
everything.
tried it, and I'm
And
so glad we have a
I
little
thought-
peanut straw.
Our straws were great
I
to
thought that
make
you
it a
put it
little
this
bit
way.
fun.
Look at the way you put
Yes.
yours.
I know I'm not if you're watching the video podcast, you'll see our penis straws.
Actually, one of our viewer here, Missy Hansen, I remember drinking out of these at a bachelorette party, which was
They
fine.
glow in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Our
So anyway,
penis straws
here's to
glow.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I taste a little bit of chocolate.
That was cacao.
Okay.
It's not the best I made it.
It's not bad at all. It's a bit sweet for me, and you put less honey in mine.
Mhm.
Give one more sip.
To make it a little bit healthier, I drizzle some honey instead of caramel.
It's actually pretty good. No, I
Thank you.
like it. Like, no joke.
So
Especially since I woke up at 4:20 this morning for your sister's
Yeah.
morning practice. Again, she swims at the Florida Atlantic University swimming pool, which is still 40 minutes away from here. Well, actually, in the morning it's 38 minutes. So she has to be there by like on pool deck at 5:30. So we wake up I wake up at 4:20. I wake her up at 4:30, and then we leave a little bit before 4:45. So we're just right on time. There's no traffic in the morning. I like to do this sometime because it gives them the rest of the day off. Clearly, she could do 2 practices, but I don't want to drive this twice a day. But so this coffee is gonna.
Yeah, I'm a coffee chugger. I don't know if you guys are
Oh my gosh, yes.
coffee chuggers. Well, I've been sipping on it since before because
Okay.
I've already tried my coffee. But today, the coffee we're promoting is me, and
looking at my straw.
today the coffee we're promoting is me and myself. We normally promote actual coffee shops. I just wanted her to try my coffee.
It could be.
This
Okay,
is
you guys, we all need to remember this. This could be like the coffee that we open our coffee shop with.
the Catherine espresso, and we will
Obviously not
give
made
a
with Nespresso
complimentary.
with our stuff,
Yeah,
but-
we'll give a complimentary penis straw with every cup of coffee. So I decided that we're gonna throw in a segment, and every episode now I am going to update my mom on some celebrity thing that's going on in the world because
I hope I know the
I
celebrity.
think it just honestly, I'm not a big fan of celebrity drama or like giving them a platform if they don't really deserve it. But sometimes it's kind of like entertaining and like almost comical to like see like the dumb shit they do.
Yes.
I am not all that informed on. In the future, I'll be a little bit more informed on like the topic.
She's just
I'm gonna
trying this
explain to her.
like outside of the
Yeah,
blue
I
right
just
now.
thought
I
this
didn't
was,
even
like, a
know
good idea.
either.
And I thought I'd bring up the Blake Lively, Justin
Oh.
Baldoni, and the Ryan Reynolds situation. She already knows a little bit about it.
A little bit.
I honestly don't really know what's going on. Like, there's so much stuff happening. A voicemail message came out that he sent to Blake Lively because there's like a $400 million lawsuit that's going to be against him and Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and apparently that's their like net worth combined.
I did not know he was involved with this. I like Ryan Reynolds. I mean, first
Well-
he's a fellow Canadian, but I don't know.
I don't know if I like him anymore.
Okay, I like him as a actor. I mean, he's freaking hilarious.
What I've been hearing is that Blake Lively, I think, might have caught some feelings for Justin Baldoni while on set. And there's a clip of them acting, and Justin Baldoni says "cut," and she's like super into it. Now I don't know all like the deets, and then this
I heard that the movie. I mean, you said
the movie was terrible
because you
in my
really
opinion.
loved the book, and it did
Well,
not really represent the
I'm
book.
not-
I mean, you didn't love the book, but you liked the book better, which usually like books are always in more details, but it didn't really reflect
Yeah.
the idea of the book.
No,
So-
not at all. Blake Lively's outfits were literally atrocious. She wore like boxers and 2 pairs of jeans and tried to make it look like a layered look, and it was just terrible. And then the camouflage jacket, oh my gosh! But
Well, I don't know. I didn't.
it was
see any of
just
this.
really bad. It was just bad, and they need to. They need to redo it completely. We just need a redo. And then it just is coming out that Blake Lively isn't the nicest celebrity either.
Well, it kind of
Again-
started. I think if I remember, you told me about this was what it was. Like she was not nice. So if I have to kind of figure out what was going on here, she was not nice to somebody that was interviewing her, and then it was the opposite. Then it came out that he was
Sexually assaulted.
her, and then other people, and then all of a sudden, like the videos, which I caught one
Yeah.
because I don't follow these things. I caught one. It was on my feed. And he was just, you could tell, it's like, it says cut, and he turned around, and there was a lot of people on set, and he was like visibly irritated. And so were the other people working. So it was just, I was like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, like the whole thing switched
Yep.
again. And then so it's when you wait at the grocery store to check out and you see all these. So it was like one time, like on the People's Magazine, like, oh, poor her, then, oh, crap, poor him, oh, poor her. And now
I know it's
poor
going
him.
back and forth,
Like
but
every
then-
week is something different on the face of
Yeah,
that magazine.
But then it's coming out that like her and Ryan Reynolds, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, like came up with the kind of the scheme to like defamation. Like that's
Oh.
why they're getting a lawsuit
Oh.
against.
Okay.
And
Well,
I don't know
actors,
because
they all have.
Ryan Reynolds might have been pissed that Blake Lively was falling in love with Justin Baldoni. Who knows?
I don't know.
but-
He's still a great actor. I don't know Jason Baldoni. Is that how you say his name? I don't
don't
think
know.
I've ever seen him in any movies.
Well, he's I like him better than Ryan Reynolds now. It seems like Ryan Reynolds is
He's a great actor.
seems like he's a
Stop
piece
it.
of shit from all this.
He's cute.
All right.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. But I just, for some reason, I just don't like it. I get a really bad feeling about him after all this, but I guess we'll see what comes out of this.
You never know.
I
what
don't
goes
really,
on
I'm not
behind
that
closed
informed
doors.
about it, but I thought that I think every episode would be fun to inform my mom, who's kind of out of the loop about this stuff, about this dumb drama, because it's
Well,
dumb.
I remember going when I was younger, going to hair salon, doctor's appointment, whatever. That's when I would just like get all my celebrity,
Yeah.
scoops, reading people's magazines, whatever. I never like order them, but like you would, or if I had friends that would get them at their house, I would go to their house and then read it. But then it just got, you have kids and whatnot. Anyways, I kind of got out of the loop, and if I swear if I have one in front of me today, probably half the people I would not even know who the heck they are, or I don't know their names, but I would know like, oh yeah, she was in that movie or whatever, and I just still don't know their names, but
Mhm.
I would probably be like, what the heck are we talking about and stuff, and and it's all gossip. So,
well, yeah,
but I mean, this is very publicly, I think, because if I seen it, it's something going on pretty badly. But
you guys know I'm a huge fan of Emma Chamberlain. She actually made an episode about how celebrities are out. Like for 2025, we're just not going to be giving them the platform that they used to have. We need to stop giving into this dumb gossip, because it's just it's just so ridiculous, and it's actually comedy at this point.
well, it's like Rick Gervais. I think that's how you say it in English. I don't know how to say it properly, but I think it was his last, or one of his last, but maybe it was his last Golden Globe that he was hosting, because he said that multiple years in a row. And he was saying if you come up here and you get your little award, and you said you thank your God and you thank your family and your agent and stuff, he said there's no point of view to start talking on a political statue or whatever, what your opinion on this and this and this. You have no idea what the real world is, and it's kind of true. And he's also a
Because
comedian.
a lot of them are born into fame, so they understand the actually being impact. I mean, maybe this is kind of not true. I don't know. I haven't been a multi-millionaire celebrity, but
that you're in
they're
movies.
not. They don't feel the economic impact of being low, middle, or
Class.
even high middle class. They don't understand.
But they're
impact.
in movies all the time, and it has to be hard. I mean, I feel for them in a sense. Of course, they have a very nice paycheck, but to play somebody else all the time and in movie after movie, how do you? There's some actors that unfortunately committed suicide because they were all totally into
method acting.
Yeah,
Method acting can be so.
You're totally
detrimental to
into
your
it,
mental
yeah.
health.
Or marriages breaking up and this and that. I mean, it's terrible in a sense, but yeah, they don't. I don't think they have the same sense of reality that we have here.
It's just totally different. But I will say that some of the drama can be done.
But it's entertaining.
It is entertaining. That's why we have this
shouldn't give them
segment
a platform,
every
but sometimes
episode,
it's okay.
because so we are kind of giving them a platform. Now we are going to go into our main segment, which is about big moves. We've done quite a few big moves, starting with hers when I was not alive. She moved from Canada to Iowa, and I thought I could just ask her some questions about that, because some of you listening might have a big move coming up, or you guys are going through a big move, and it can be hard. There's ups and downs for sure, but it's still a long process.
It is.
So if you wanted to give a little spiel about
when I moved,
just kind of a summary of you moving, and then I can go into some questions.
Well, I moved to Iowa first. The reason why I wanted to become, in my mind, I wanted to become a doctor when I was younger. Well, first, no, originally it was a lawyer. I wanted to be an attorney. I would have cried at every single session. But anyway, so that didn't happen. But I wanted to be a doctor. And in the province of Quebec, there's not many. I mean, now there's more. Maybe there's 2, 3, 4, maybe medical school. Maybe. There was, I think, just 2 when I was younger. And I knew it was going to be hard to get there. Even with people with a 4.0 still don't get in right away. So anyways, I was a figure skater. I think you guys know that by now. And I had injured my knee. Seen so many doctors with my mom. I think it was doctor number 10. I think she told me that many years ago. Was a chiropractor that had graduated from Palmer College of Chiropractic, the birthplace of chiropractic in Davenport. And he helped me out. He told me very honestly, he was not going to, he said, you might require surgery down the road. We took x-rays, did all the tests, whatever. But he said, we can probably just kind of realigned you misaligned, blah, blah, explained to me what chiropractic was. And I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. So he helped me in my career. I was able to continue skating for many years until I moved to Palmer and to Iowa. And so we had one school in Toronto, the School of Chiropractic in Toronto, and we had one that just opened in the province of Quebec. And not that it was not a good school. It was. I think, did not have as many opportunity as what Palmer College was offering, and he was a Palmer grad, so he's like, how about I sponsor you, in the sense that you have to have somebody to help you get in, writing you like recommendations. That's what I mean, like they don't help you to get in per se, plus tuitions when American money, and I don't know if you know anything about a Canadian and American money, but like Canada's not doing so good, so the exchange was absolutely horrible. My parents were helping me at that time, and went through the whole, I know it's different now, it's even harder to get in, but went through the whole process for being an international student, had to go in for interviews and this and that, and finally made it in. And so we moved and crossed the border on July 4th, which was not very well thought.
Oh gosh.
July 4th, 1996 is when I moved officially to the United States. And my parents, I was in the car with a friend moving my stuff in the car, and then they had my parents were with me, and they had taken one of my aunt's minivan, took all the seats out, and had put as much stuff. I mean, we had bought a bunch of furniture for in the United States, and they helped me move.
Did you move into like a dorm or an apartment?
An apartment. There was no dorm at that time.
Okay.
There was a lot of apartment, but if you know anything about Davenport, Iowa, where the college is, I mean, they're trying to revamp the downtown, but where the college is, it is not. It's getting better, but it's still not the safest part of Davenport.
Yeah.
So we had been we had a Quebec club, so there's more than one French Canadian there. We were a pretty good club at that time, and they had told me where to go, a little bit north of Brady Street.
Yeah.
So that's where we visited. The weekend I think it was a different weekend. We came down and visited and rented an apartment, and so.
Did you have a roommate? Or was it just you?
No, it was just me.
Oh, wow.
I did not want to have a roommate at that time. Well, I didn't know anybody. And I figured it was a 2-bedroom. So I figured that if I would meet somebody that I would have, but never did. So 1 bedroom was where I was studying. The other bedroom was my bedroom. 1 bathroom. It was a very nice little apartment, and it was mostly old people. So it was very quiet. So it was great. So
that's
I could
nice.
study. Yeah, it was very nice.
And then how did you get to class every day? Did you have like a bus?
I had a car.
Oh, you had a
because
car?
I drove my car down
Oh,
there. So
okay.
And my mom stayed for a week. I had promised my parents and my family I was going to, on October 22nd, 1999, the day I graduated, I said I'm going to move back to Canada. Like I'm not staying here. First day of school, remember, met friends that first day, first class, that we are still friends. We were in each other's wedding. This is like, what are the odds? We were lost in the building, and we didn't know where our classes were, so we met them. They were a couple. And I remember I came home because my mom stayed for a whole week, and I said, this is it. Like this, I am not staying here. What in the world? I just can't wait for that date, and I'm moving back home. And she stayed a week, made a bunch of food, put it on my freezer. She to this day could tell you how much she cried when I dropped her off at the airport in Moline, and it was so little. It's so little.
It's such a small airport, yeah.
But it's nice now. It's actually modern. It was raggedy, whatever. Anyways, and she cried so much that people on the plane were asking her if she was okay because she couldn't stop crying. And which I did the same thing when we moved your sister down for the first time in Jacksonville University. So I cried the whole way back up. I remember that. And you're like, "Oh, stop crying!" And I just
no, you did.
No, so I felt for my mom that day, and different country.
Yeah.
So it was So that was something.
And then I have some questions for her because moving can, I don't know, again, like I said, have its ups and downs. So how'd your parents feel about your decision? Like at first, when you first like brought the idea up to them?
They were pretty excited.
Yeah.
That I made a decision. My brother had decided to not continue school and education. I mean, he was university level as well, but he was working for the family business at that time, or starting into it anyways. So my dad was very, very excited. So was my mom. They were very supportive. My parents were extremely supportive. I was very blessed that financially they could support me because it's expensive today to know how much it costs, and it's probably the double in price how much it is to graduate from that place. But no, they were, and there was, like I said, we had met everybody from the Quebec club, which we're all adults when we go there. So there's people that like from the age of 21 all the way to like 50, 60 years
Oh,
old
wow.
that go to Palmer. So I mean, there's kids, like we're kids, but there's still a good group of,
Yeah.
adults
They're very
that,
mature.
that could
crowd.
help you out. And
Yeah.
I will say my biggest hurdle, and it took a good 6 months to get over it, was the language barrier.
Mhm.
So I had taken advanced English classes and even slang classes at the University of Montreal. So it was the University of Quebec in Montreal. That's the one I went to, and colleges and whatnot. But
Slang.
slang, yeah, I didn't know what "hold your horses" meant.
Oh, you learned stuff like that?
Yeah,
Wow.
so we had like one of the, it wasn't an exam, but there was like a bunch of expressions and then what you thought it was.
Yeah.
And we were people from all around. I mean, not just, there's people from France that were there, and then the answers made us laugh so much we all became friends and would go and have a beer and talk about our answers every time we had a class. But it's just like, I did my 6th grade in English. I mean, I knew the language and whatnot,
Yeah.
but little do you know that when you get there and you're immersed in English, like you realize you're still thinking in French and you're translating in your head, and then you come up with your answer. Well, half the time the conversation was like 10 subjects later, and I had made my reply from the first subject. So,
But did the professors understand that some people were from different countries and like slowed down, or
No.
did they not care?
no, they did not care. And some of I remember my class renal was all about kidneys and whatnot. She was Indian and her accent was very thick. I had a hard time understanding. Just like one of your
Jeez,
teacher you
yeah,
had last
yeah.
semester that was from
Asia.
Asia.
And there was just no understanding.
Yeah, I didn't understand anything. You made me listen to it as I didn't understand anything. And she was talking so very fast too, so you had to listen. But no, they didn't care. I mean, they were there to teach and some were really enthusiastic, like your teacher. And
Yeah,
some
no,
of
it
them,
was so cute. He's so excited about the subject, but I was like, I can't
I can't understand
you.
what you're saying. But some of them were just, they had been teaching it. That was my per PNS, peripheral nervous system class. And he had Dr. Schmidal, which bless his heart, I think he's passed away by now. He was already old when I was there, but he just knew his stuff so well. But he had everything already. Oh my gosh, it was the thing that a projector that you write on the paper and you just continue so you don't have to erase. He would bring his rolls. So it was the same class for God knows how many years. So it was just so repetitive, and it was just like, oh my God, I'm just gonna fall asleep. But at least he was talking slower, so it was easier. But that by then I was in it was my 2nd year, so it was better. But I will say the first 6 months, first 3 for sure, headaches every night.
Jeez.
I mean, I cried myself to sleep, and then you have to study. And I'm gonna be really honest, I've never been a good test taker in the very first place. But then again, doing it in a second language, that was till the day I graduated, it was something I struggled with.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was like, I'm studying the material, I'm going to take the test because I studied and I know what it says. But then it would take me maybe a month later, like it would just totally make sense. And then I could apply it, and then I'm like, oh my God, that's why I didn't do good in the first test, because that's what, but, no, I mean, I went to see, the teachers and stuff a lot. They understood. I mean, it's an international school. So a lot of students, I would say at least 50%, 40 to 50% are non-first language, speaking English,
Yeah.
So.
Were you 100% on your decision when you moved, or was it like a big back and forth?
I knew I was coming here
Okay.
to the United States. I mean, to Palmer, because that's, I got accepted. I did try Atlanta, the Life College, but I knew Palmer was the number one school. So I knew my decision was made. I had applied to another chiropractic college in Atlanta, Life Chiropractic College. And when I got accepted at Palmer, I just knew this is where I wanted to go. I will see, my mom had told me after I graduated, a lot of people in my family had doubts that I was going to graduate.
Oh,
They
wow.
said she was never going to finish. She's in another country, blah, blah, blah. She did tell me this. No, I will say not after I graduated. It was like in my last year of graduation when I was pretty much now done. I was doing clinic, like we were doing our like internship, whatever, that you have to practice on real patients. That's when she told me this, and it kind of motivated even more to graduate and start my own office and say, you know what, like suck it up, I made it. So pretty glad, first doctor in my family. Now there's another chiropractor, one of my cousin's son. We all also have pharmacists. My cousin is a pharmacist and stuff. So and I'm the first one that had moved to school. Okay, from people in Quebec, province of Quebec, like we're very tight. Families stay together. Family stays in the same province.
No,
you know?
it's a very big extended family. Everybody's like very close with their 3rd
Mhm.
cousins, stuff like that.
Yes, so it's like drivable distances. Like you can make it, or maybe a day max, and you get somewhere.
Mhm.
So I moved out of the country, and then one of my cousin, my godchild, my cousin Caroline, lives in France.
Yeah, so everybody.
So my aunt's like, it's all your fault. But shout out to them, her and Audrey, that traveled all around Europe and figured them, what they liked and stuff.
Mhm.
It was great. So the day I graduated, and I had met your dad. And
Well, yeah, that was my next question. She actually ended up staying, and obviously she ended up staying in
because
Iowa
I'm still here.
because
No, I'm still here.
I'm also here now. I'm born, where she met my dad. So what was did your parents kind of suspect that you were going to stay there, or
No, I think until they met him. Until they figured out that we were kind of moving in and whatnot. Your dad knew what was going on with Palmer students.
Yeah.
He was born and raised in Iowa, so
Mhm.
you've seen that. Like we're all from different countries, and then we don't stay, and then so everybody gets their heart broken. I remember he was in my apartment. I said, "Well, if we don't try, we won't know. So, you want to try and see if it works?" And here we are. We moved in together. I will say, I don't know about my dad, but I know my mom was heartbroken because she wanted me to
Yeah.
come back home. She still kind of says past little comments once in a while, so if she's listening. So anyway, but
then you want to have your favorite granddaughter. So it all worked out.
okay, we're gonna really have to tell her to
Yeah.
watch this episode. But and then I had the opportunity we were starting a new Gold's Gym in Davenport, and I had the opportunity to open my practice in there. So kind of couldn't really pass that out, and it just all worked well, and I stayed there. But
Mhm.
Iowa for me, when I moved, it's very different now. Clearly, it's been 20 something years, but I thought it was like I'm right outside of Montreal, big international city. Just imagine yourself living outside of like Chicago or New York, and then you're in rural Iowa.
Yeah. So
Like, we
it
still
seemed like a
had
very
dirt
small
roads and
town
stuff,
with
yeah.
nothing around, like lots of cornfields and
People
Stuff like
going
that.
out in overalls. I mean,
Oh.
it was something else. Yeah, we went to bars and nightclubs. Well, there was not that many, but let's say you have a choice of 4 or 5.
You get what's that nightclub called in Davenport? It's like so dangerous to go to though.
Oh, there were so many.
Yeah.
But no, that did not exist when I was there. Like our
Okay.
place to hang out was America's Pub downtown Davenport. So whoever from Davenport's listening to this, they will remember.
Mhm.
This bar doesn't exist, but Chantilly Lay. So that's where I met your dad. Dangerous place. Boozy's is still there. That's downtown
Boozy's is still
Davenport.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
Boozy's still there. That's a huge
Mhm.
Palmer hangout. But yeah, no, it was. I don't know where I'm going with this, but no. So that's I stayed, and it was great. And of course, like
Did you kind of have like, were you like a little bit sad or upset with yourself ever that you didn't move back, or?
I did. Not so much like not work wise. I was very happy where I was at and stuff, but
Mhm.
I will say family wise, like
Missed
like
out
we're
on
so
some-
tight.
yeah.
I missed out on so many gathering and and then but my family was always so nice, to like when FaceTime came up
Mhm.
or this or that, to just be live or sending me videos and this and that. But it still kind of breaks your heart because you're not
Yeah.
you're not there, you're missing out. But I have aunts and cousins that are so nice that would come and visit and all the time and surprise us. And of course, when
There
you
was
guys
a time. Was it my graduation when they all
Yes.
surprised? Yeah.
yeah, my aunt
They were all
Janine
at the
and Audrey
door.
and Caroline, and I just opened. I didn't know, and my mom.
I didn't know either. I
My
was like,
mom's such a good liar because she was just making food. I'm like, I think you're making too much food for dinner. She's like, you never know. Like, Bryce, I think, was coming. Bryce might be hungry. It was the day before he graduated.
yeah.
Cheyenne was there. My niece
Yeah.
was there. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm just saying that's way too much food. I don't even know if he eats salad. I mean, it was just like a whole
She opened the
conversation.
door and started screaming, and I was like, oh my God, what?
I was like, shut up, really loud, slammed the door, reopened the door. And then they were there looking
Yeah.
at me. So
That was really nice.
yeah, she's my aunt and her daughters. Like I've done that trip many, many times. But and then it got to a point like her dad. So your dad and I divorced, and then he moved away too. And I was like, I mean, and you were in college, and your sister were in college in Florida, and there was this condo here
Mhm.
available that was not mine because my dad passed away,
And it's always been our dream to move, like live in Florida. That was
Yes,
kind of
before
like
I
your
met your
end. Yeah.
dad, I did an internship here with a doctor, a chiropractor, and I was like, "That's it. This is it." I've always said since I was a teenager, I would not be the one, leaving. Like my parents driving me to the airport and leave and go back to the coldness. I'd be the one driving my friends back, to the
Mhm.
airport, and I will be staying here. And then I don't know. I thought that was the right time
Yeah.
to do the move, and I mean, and now that was another move. So if you want to say like how difficult it is, if you start thinking about so many things in your life, your doctors, your like your car, your insurance, your dentist,
So you have great dentists and orthodontists in Iowa, and we're like, oh, we want to keep them. Our bank, we're still with our bank in Iowa.
because I'm very good friends with our
Storage
advisor
has
there.
been a pain in the ass.
Yeah, storage
Um,
is somewhere. I mean, it's so many things you don't think about. But I didn't think about this when I was a student because I still had
Yeah.
all my stuff in Canada, and then gradually, and then getting married and whatnot, like it all kind of phased in very
Mhm.
slowly. But now moving here and having kids in school. I mean, you guys are in school, but your sister's younger, and then trying to put her in like middle school next year, and this and
Yeah.
that. That's a whole different ballpark. And
Mhm.
one of my very good friend, Jody Stone, her husband worked for
John Deere.
John Deere for many, many years. He was pretty high up, and they lived in Asia for years.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like, I think she said like an 18-month situation, ended up being like 8 years or
Yeah.
something of the sort. So she kind of helped me out. She can make a list and this and this. And I was like, that's the only thing that I will say that maybe took me a year to make my mind up of moving, because I just, I had just restarted my life by myself. Um, going back to work, having a kid that's going to school, like it took a village and get it all organized. You moms watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. Getting her to play, point A to point B. You were gone at that time and this and that. I mean, you were there at the beginning when we moved and you helped out a lot, but I was like, okay, I'm in a comfortable place. I think I got this shit down. Like I got this schedule. I think we got this right, and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, nope. Like, am I really happy here? I mean, I love all my friends, but would my family come and visit in Iowa more than Florida?
Because like this is kind of a place that they do visit a lot.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
My niece has family down here. My cousins has family down here. So,
and we know the area because we've been coming to this. Well, she's been coming to this condo for since you're 13.
Yep.
So it was nice to have like a familiar place here that we could like settle at until this place sells, and then we'll have to move again. But it's nice that like we have all the furniture, everything here. There's just some stuff that we needed to buy. The actual like packing and moving was a pain because
that's going to be an episode
it
when
was
we move
like
again.
well, just like the actual like moving from the townhouse when they packed everything up, it took like 6 hours longer than it was supposed to because there's
and
a
we had a
freaking tornado outside.
Tornado hit us,
Boxes were flying, and
they're like,
guys
we're fine. Close the garage door. I was
they had like came in for shelter because there was like lightning just constant, like the constant lightning out in the sky.
It was terrible.
So that was a really interesting packing experience. But
I don't want to complain that we live here and it's great. I mean, it's was passed down to me. I have, it's just was like, here you go, here are the keys. Can't complain, and which is what helped me make the decision instead of paying rent or mortgage in Iowa and not really having any moving forward with my job or anything like that. Like I didn't see like a
next step.
So I figured like, okay, let's just do this. My beautiful girls are all in Florida. I think your youngest sister is a beach bum big time. So I was like, you know what,
my sister moved from, I mean, I wish we could ever speak. She was the first one to move to Florida for college, and that kind of inspired me. I was going to swim in Florida if you listened to the last episode, but I decided that I didn't want to swim in college and just enjoy Florida, and she inspired me to do that. So I went to FAU. Well, I still go to FAU, South Florida, right by the beach, and that was a pretty pleasant moving experience for me because I was very excited. I did have a boyfriend of 2 years, so in another episode we'll talk about long distance because that was like a struggle in itself. But we're still together. He lives here now, so one big happy family. But that was a good moving experience for me because I had my parents, like you had your parents help you move down. You pretty much set up the whole room for me. I had the prettiest like freshman dorm
Yes, you did.
And-
And well, you were the first one in your dorm too.
Yeah,
out
so
of
I
the
got
four
to, like,
girls.
like
We picked
pick
and-
my bed and pick the bigger side of the room. Sorry, Kaylee. And then I also had 3 amazing roommates, but I met them through the FAU Instagram page, where you can kind of post a picture of yourself and then give a little description, and people can reach out. And I found these 3 girls who were looking for a 4th roommate. So I reached out, and that's who I ended up with. And we talked a lot throughout the summer. So that was nice that I already knew 3 girls. And then along with that, you kind of add everybody else on the Instagram page. So you start talking to like other
everybody
people.
else. You make friends already
Yes.
before you get there.
And you didn't have like social media really.
We didn't even have phones. I mean, we had
Yeah.
phones, but not everybody had a phone. I had a phone because first I had one from before I moved down, but my parents wanted me to have one because in case there's an emergency, I needed to
Yeah.
be able to. So I think the phones were starting to be really popular, but it was it was the flip phone. So there's no social media whatsoever. And that's why I moved in by myself. And then, you meet your group of friends. And from the first, I would say, month or 2, that same group of friends, we are still friends.
Yeah. No, I'm still like in contact.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm just saying this
Yeah.
is like 20, because, I'm going to age myself here, but we had our homecoming, Palmer College homecoming in August, and I just moved here, so I didn't go back. And I'm sad because I missed a lot of
Yeah.
my, because it was our 25th year anniversary, a reunion. Unfortunately, we were about 220 something graduates the year I
Did only
graduated.
like 12 people show up?
I don't know, on a group of friends, maybe they were 12, 13, maybe total there was 20 something. I'm like, we're missing 200, but a lot of them were from other countries.
countries,
It's a
that
little
makes
bit different
sense,
to
yeah.
come down, but I would say like our closest friend, we still minus 2 or 3, even like Greta from Norway or my friend Jolt from Sweden, we still chat
Yeah.
to each other. We all went to each other's wedding and whatnot. So that's why I was living by myself.
Mhm.
And some of my friends eventually became roommates that I'm still friends
Yeah.
with. And I was just okay by myself. And if one had like a beef with the other one, I had that extra room. So I
Yeah.
always had somebody coming over anyway. So
I liked being like, I feel like, so freshman year we were in doubles. So I was in a room with Kaylee, my roommate Kaylee, and then the 2 other girls were in the other room, but it was like all connected. But then sophomore year we all had our own rooms, and I feel like that kind of like caused us to maybe like isolate ourselves a little bit more. Like we were forced to all hang out. We didn't have a living room or anything in the dorms, versus when we were in our apartments, we would just stay
On
in our
campus,
rooms,
yeah.
and then we'd like walk over to the other person's room, whatever. But no, I really liked it freshman year. I think I really got out of my shell. I was like on one of my friend's boats. Like we were on the boat in Lake Boca, at the beach.
rough college life.
At the beach on like a Wednesday.
I was in Iowa.
Exploring, like we would do like day trips to Miami and walk around South Beach, and just, I definitely ran through a lot of money, but I did like freshman year, even sophomore year, like I didn't do a lot of the clubs. Like I would obviously go to like the clubs sometimes, or like the bars, but not as much as these other people, because 1, it's so expensive, and 2, like it's kind of scary around there. Like it gets kind of disgusting. And I also wanted to prioritize my academics. I didn't go to FAU to go out to the nightclubs.
Well, some students
Like
do that.
I went there to like
Unfortunately.
also get my degree, and that's
Thank goodness.
money that costs money. But no, I did more of like spending my money towards like experiences, like day trips to Miami, and
You started cooking
yeah,
more too.
yeah,
So
traveling, going on walks on this trail behind my apartment. Like, so moving honestly went pretty good for me. There were times where I did feel like a little bit alone and a little bit homesick, because
I came to
I just
visit a
didn't-
lot though because
yeah.
of this condo. I came
Yeah.
to visit a lot.
so I could show her around. But then I met my best friend Ison Kennedy, and that was a blessing. So they
Yeah.
kind of
I will always remember one time I came to visit and we were driving out of here, going somewhere, maybe visiting another place, I can't remember. And I cried. I remember we were just past the
Mhm.
bridge here, and you said, I'm so glad I'm here. And then it was very rare because I experienced this too, or even your sister, I'm not even sure your older sister figured it out yet. But as a freshman, and you turn around and you said, yeah, I'm very happy here. I think I found my place. I think this is where I belong. And I mean, I remember crying, like, oh, great, now my mom's crying. And I was like, no, as a mom, it's absolutely like that's what you want. You want your kid to find themselves and be happy. And I could tell, yes, everybody feels I mean, I'm your mom, and I sometimes feel still homesick, and I
Yeah.
haven't lived. We figured when I moved down here in the United States, moved down here in Florida, I had lived in my lifespan longer in the United States than I lived in Canada.
Mhm.
So now I guess we all know my age because I moved at the age of 21. And so it's just kind of unbelievable to think we're all dual citizen,
Yeah.
but I'm always still like, oh yeah, I'm from Montreal, but technically like I've lived here
You're more
longer.
American.
I'm more American than I am Canadian, but no, I'm not. But you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But so I know you were homesick once in a while, but to
Yeah, I
see
did love
you,
it.
to see you just like I don't know, blossom. I know it
Mhm.
sounds cheesy, but
Yeah,
as
no.
a mom, you see this with your kid, and it's just. So I'm just saying, like I don't think Isabella, yet my oldest one has figured out where she
Mhm.
I don't want to say belong, but let's just say she had a nice life at Jacksonville University, also by the beach,
Yeah.
a little bit further than you
She's
are,
also
but still
a beach girl.
big time.
And I think I don't know, matured and grew up and like found out like my morals and values. Just found a lot about myself. So I think that move was really like a very good decision. And I mean, I would. It's expensive in Florida. But I would love to settle here eventually, for sure. South, like I love the beach, and I love Delray. Delray's like I love Delray
it's
so
our
much.
dream to move around there
Yeah.
now.
But I do like in my 20s want to travel around. So there'll be a lot of moving in my 20s. Hopefully, that's
And
planned.
I'm not saying that it's not good to stay in your own bubble, like because college is very expensive.
Yeah.
Clearly, we are a Florida resident. You have in-state tuition, so I know it makes a big difference in some people's decision on where they're going to college
Yeah.
or scholarships. Isabella had scholarships at that. We were not resident here yet, but it's. I think it's great by what I've done, what my cousin Audrey and
Mhm.
Caroline did to be able to travel and visit. And yes, it's a lot of money and borrowing money to go to school, but the experience you get,
Yeah.
the knowledge that you get, it helps you grow.
And you really, you
It's
learn a lot about yourself.
Yes, and just to figure out like maybe where you really want to go and really
Yeah.
what you want to do later on, and say I want to do this, and then this is what I want, or I want to start over there and this and that. It's just
Because
if you have the opportunity, do it. But like
Yeah.
I said, it's not cheap. It's not doable for everyone.
Mhm.
But if you can,
Yeah, for sure. I would, if you have that opportunity, take it. I'm happy I did. I want to.
Clearly, I'm happy I did too because you wouldn't
Yeah.
be in this world.
Yep. I do want to continue traveling in my 20s and not really settle. I see a lot of videos about people saying like they don't regret it at all, just not like settling in one place. And again, not like it's going to be expensive, so I need to start saving up some more. But
Yeah, you're saving up. But I will say, and mark my words on that one, if you see us making an episode in Italy, it's because we have moved to Italy.
yeah, we're not coming back.
I'm not coming back.
You're
I
gonna-
did it once. I
We're gonna
came
open
back.
up a coffee shop in Italy, and y'all are gonna have to come visit there.
I was there when you were little. I remember this. You were in elementary school, young, and I remember really talking to your grandma, my mom, and say, "How can we make this work that we're not going back?" And she's like, "You can't do this." I'm like, "No, really, seriously. I think I'm falling in love with this place." I mean, I've been lucky to travel a lot with my parents, but that place just grabbed my heart. I think
Yeah.
I have to live here. So I always say, like, if we travel to Italy, ain't coming back.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is right now I'm looking at getting a like standard visitor's visa for 6 months, like post grad, and but I don't know. I don't know if you guys know like how to be able to get a place to stay, like, but with a standard visitor's visa, because I don't think a lot of people are like tenants or landlords would let
Actually,
you like rent
Cal-
with just a visitor's
Wait,
visa.
Caroline is probably watching this because she's our listener. She's our subscriber in Toulouse, France.
Yeah.
She could answer all these questions for you.
Yeah.
So if you have
So-
questions too, like jot them down, give it to us, and then
We'll ask her and we'll
ask
let
her
you
and
know.
we
But
can answer.
I'll probably do a whole episode on what I'm gonna eventually decide to do post grad. But I will be,
Season 2.
yeah, I will be exploring. And if we're not in the same place, I've seen multiple podcasts of people being able to do like split screen, like
Oh
went
no,
to
I'm
different
traveling.
places.
Oh no, I'm going.
But we
I'll do the weekend trip and come
Yeah.
back.
but we will be continuing the podcast either
Yes.
way. So don't worry about that. If you guys are moving and you have any questions, let us know. We'll be happy to answer them.
It's not
And-
easy, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
worth it. And then
It could be like the best decision of your life.
it's like as of now, we've been here for 6 months about. Things are starting to fall into place. It's just this condo is still a little bit like of the first domino to
Mhm.
fall off and then to get everything else in place. But it's not easy. I've cried a lot,
Yeah.
myself to sleep. Did I make the right decision? Is it okay with my kids? Did I just screw everything up? This and that. It's hard to find a job and this and that. But I was not happy where I was at. So if I kind of see, I can compare, I think that in the end, probably in a year from now, I'll be like, well, wow.
It was all worth
all
that
worth
like stress. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let us know if you guys like have any questions or I don't know, or trying to juggle on your decision. Like we're happy to help. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We talked about a lot, honestly.
Review Catherine's
the peanut
coffee
straw,
from when we
yeah.
open in the dark peanut straw.
Yeah.
When we open our coffee
The
shop.
Catherine Espresso.
Catherine
Next
Espresso.
week we'll actually have a coffee shop to review. And we end every episode with a Would You Rather. And I actually totally forgot. I don't even remember what it was.
Oh my gosh, wait. Okay, yes, I have it here. So, would you rather spend a week in the woods without a tent or a night in a real haunted house?
Okay, well, I think,
Neither.
yeah, I wouldn't want to do either. But I think I got the power of Jesus with me, so I would do the haunted house and just be constantly praying. Because in the woods, like, bro, there's animals and there's like that's just like a setup for an actual like thriller movie. Like I'm gonna get killed
I know.
out there, and like
Hunting
at
the
least the
woods.
haunted house has like some hopefully food in the fridge or like I can cook something. And yeah, I think I'd go insane out in the woods. And there's spiders. I'm more scared of spiders than ghosts, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna
You-
go with the
you-
haunted house.
You come in peace. You'll have to say that
I'll
to
come
the
in
ghost.
peace. Yeah, I come in peace. It was just a would you rather, please spare me.
Because I kind of picked that question too because for your birthday on June 10th, there is this
It's called the Axe Murder House or whatever.
in Iowa, and then you can actually go sleep there. It's like a sort of a bed and breakfast throughout the year. But on June 10th, the evening of June 10th, that's when the massacre happened, and it's still
Well, it was
unresolved.
this guy. Yeah, this
It's still unresolved.
this unknown murderer came and like killed the family with an axe, and they don't know who
And
did
this
it.
poor little girl, I think that her name was Catherine.
Yeah,
and
her name was
she-
Catherine. She literally looks like
yeah,
me.
and she was murdered there, but she was there as a guest. So she was the friends of the little girl. And
Yeah.
so you guys can look this thing up, and you cannot rent a room for the 10th for I think years and years in
Because
advance.
everybody wants to stay there on the night they're
because it's
murdered.
haunted, clearly. And you wanted to, were like, well, I'm
I don't know
going.
why I
I'm
thought
not
that
going.
because I know that like I would chicken out like last minute. I'd be like, no, nope.
Yep.
But
so that's where the question
that's
came
our
from.
would you rather. But
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Go follow us on Instagram at acoffee.break, TikTok at acoffee_break,
Mhm.
and subscribe on YouTube, A Coffee Break with Kat and Mom. And our video podcasts are on Spotify and YouTube. Episodes out every Sunday at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern time. And yeah, go
Great.
subscribe, leave comments. We love you guys.
Have a
Have a
good
great
day.
week.
Bye.
Bye.